Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Getting Started on Module 3 video walkthrough. Go ahead over to the content link and select that. Once you're there, scroll down to Module 3 Writing. And as you'll notice, the much follows the same format. So we'll go ahead and click on the link called Module Overview to begin. And this will give you an introduction to what we're going to be doing in Module 3. So you'll notice that Module 3 is focusing on sensory writing, and that is showing versus telling. You're going to use as many of your five senses as possible to describe a person, place, or a thing. And so this module is going to help you become more deliberate in your word selection, and it'll strengthen the message and engage your reader. Really, when we're doing sensory writing, what we want to do is we want to take the reader into the experience. So instead of just telling them what's happening in the story, you're going to show them. You might even not tell them where you are. So let's say, for example, you picked the aurora borealis to describe. You don't have to tell us that the aurora borealis, right? You might just describe what it looks like, getting really into the senses of sight. You might describe the surroundings. Where are you? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it, is there snow on the ground? What does the snow feel like? So you're really going to get into describing those sensory pieces. And you don't have to give away where you are. We'll know where you are just by the adjectives, adverbs, and the words that you select and the senses that you describe. So that's going to be the focus here of Module 3. And as you scroll down, you'll notice those competencies that come up once again. Those are part of every module. So you can go ahead and click the next button. And when you get to the next section, you'll see the module activities. You're going to be creating a dominant impression slideshow. That link is clickable there. And you're going to be participating in a week 3 discussion. And this is going to give you an opportunity to get some sensory writing practice in. And I'll be giving some feedback to select students on the discussion board as far as how you're doing with showing and not telling. And then you'll be applying that information to when you write your sensory milestone, which is milestone 2, that last sensory essay you'll be completing. And so there are some additional writing resources for you to take a look at here under the module activities section. And this essentially goes over some of those things that you listed in your goals that you wanted to work on, such as commas and semicolons and colons and just more grammar and mechanics of language. If you continue to scroll down, you'll see there is a milestone rubric for our sensory essay. And so you can click there to look at that rubric and use it as a checklist to make sure you've included everything in the assignment. You'll notice also the module outcomes, and these will essentially go over what you will be doing in this module and the knowledge that you are trying to achieve. Go ahead and click on that next button. And this takes you to the Hawks portion of the class. Now, there were some assignments that were due in week 2, and there are going to be some assignments that are due later in the week. And you can log into Hawks to see the due dates, or you can the announcement that I posted on the homepage with all of the due dates located in one spot. So no Hawks assignments to complete this week, but if you did miss out on the week 2 Hawks assignments, you should go ahead and complete those. I can take those at any time during the course for full credit. Go ahead and hit the next button, and that'll take you to the Module 3 discussion, sensory writing practice. This is where I mentioned you're going to have the opportunity to respond to a prompt that offers you the chance to practice using sensory details like sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. You're going to choose one of the prompts that is located on that link. So if you click on one of the attached prompts, it'll take you to a link to tell you what the prompts are and answer in your discussion post. And then also you'll notice there's a sample of sensory writing, and you can look at that by clicking on the click here link in the assignment instructions. And I'll be posting some more samples later during Module 3. Your initial post is going to be 200 and 250 words, and that'll be posted on Wednesday as usual. And then your response posts 125 to 150 words, and that'll be posted by Sunday. So go ahead and click that next button at the bottom of the page, and that'll take you to milestone 2, the sensory essay. This is usually a really fun one that students like to write, and they often list it as their favorite essay when they get to the end of the course. So there's 3 things to submit for this assignment. The sensory essay, the directions are located below. The process page, that's that page that we talked about a little earlier in the class that you did not need to turn in for milestone 1, but now you do need to submit it. And the resource page, and that's located under the fine print in the instructions, and I'll go over that in a minute. So essentially, there should be 3 things in the Dropbox: the essay, the process page filled out, and the resource page, which you'll have a screen capture of. Okay, so the sensory essay itself, you're going to be writing an essay that vividly describes a person, a place, or a thing that is important to you and is connected to an abstract term. So let's say perhaps you are interested in writing about your mother and you feel that your mother is very persistent. So the person you're describing is your mother, and the abstract term would be persistent. And you would make sure to include that in your thesis statement at the end of your introductory paragraph. And this would be true whether you're doing a place or a thing also. So you'll be using that same kind of format. So they list some examples. Here, there's a place you may have been that makes you feel completely at peace. So the place might be, let's say, the library, and that makes you feel at peace. And so the peace, that would be your abstract term. So I think that there's some nice examples here to kind of get your juices flowing. So what you want to see next here are these helpful tips. You're definitely going to be working with things like simile, metaphor, imagery, and personification to further enhance your sensory details. So you may need to do a little YouTube research, and that is you'll go to YouTube, for example, and just type in simile and see what kind of videos you come up with that describe and discuss simile. And you can do that also with metaphor, look at the imagery and personification and other stories that you may have come across. And that will help you understand how to use that in your own essay. So you're going to be organizing your essay into multiple paragraphs with focused topics. The best essays are the ones that create scenes for your reader, scenes that your reader can feel like they are experiencing right there with you. So think about whether or not you're going to organize your essay by using a sense like sight, touch, taste, smell, or hearing. If you're going to be using a more narrative format describing an experience you've had with your subject. So those are just a few ways that you can organize your essay. Consider the dominant impression of your subject, whether it's positive or negative. What is it that you want your reader to know? What kind of an impression do you want to leave with your reader at the end? So you'll be using your introduction or your conclusion paragraphs to include those details, and then fleshing that out in the body of the paper and connecting to your abstract term. You'll be proofreading as usual and looking at the rubric as your checklist of what to include in the sensory essay. Now here, let's look at the fine print. Your essay needs to be at least 1,000 words in length, which is typically about 4 pages. You need to include that process page. You've had some experience filling one out, and now you're going to be doing it and submitting it for a grade. You can click on that process page link, and that will take you to the process page that it has a series of questions for you to answer. And then you'll be submitting your essay to the Milestone 2 assignment Dropbox, submitting that process page, and then This is something that students get confused about at first, but you're going to choose at least one of the essay review resources. Go ahead now and click on that link that says Essay Review Resources. These are different kinds of resources that you can use. Essentially, you will be having your writing evaluated either by the writing specialist that's in our classroom. Remember, they posted their information in an announcement at the beginning of class. You can contact them to have them look over your sensory essay and give you feedback. You can use another learning support specialist. You can do an in-person or a virtual appointment with our learning support specialist. You can use a peer tutor study table. You can attend one of those sessions. You'll see some links to those sessions there. You can drop off your essay, and there is a link there for learning support drop-off essay. You can use tutor.com, and they will also give you some feedback on your essay. You only need to select one of these resources and have somebody look over your work before you submit it. So you're going to want to be able to compose your sensory essay and give yourself enough time to get it to whichever of these resource links you choose in order to receive feedback and perhaps revise. If you cannot get the resource to me in time, like let's say you finish your essay on Friday and you submit it to tutor.com, they're not able to give you feedback until Sunday or Monday of next week, just let me know in the comments when you upload it to the Dropbox, and I can give you those points later after you've received that feedback from one of these resources. So just make sure that you are prepared for that ahead of time. Okay, and so then let's go ahead and wrap up our discussion of what you'll be doing in Module 3. And as always, if you have any questions, you can email me or you can set up an appointment with me using my Calendly information. And I hope you have